Hi. I'm in my caravan at the minute. I'm at my parents' house just for the weekend because that's what I do. I come here and I do documentary photography for my family project. And as you'll know, if you've watched my videos, you go watch a couple of videos before this. I love cheap old DSLRs. Um, so I thought I'd do a review on the Fujifilm Finepix S2 Pro. This is a AA battery and CR123A battery powered DSLR. Very rare to have a disposable battery um, powered DSLR. Um, Only a few exist. Like Pentax has done some. I think they're higher end DSLRs. I think take AA's and they're like super rugged. I think they're meant for like. I don't know much about Pentax DSLRs, but I'm pretty sure they're made for like rough stuff because I've heard that they're super like throw against the wall and it'll break through the wall rather than break itself. So obviously having AA batteries as a power source is a really good thing. Oh my god, sun in my eyes is a really good thing because it allows you to use rechargeables like standard, and then if you run out, you can quickly run. I mean, the AA batteries are everywhere. It's the most standard battery in the world. Every TV remote runs on either AA or AAA. Um, so yeah, I just go on about it because it's such a cool feature to have a battery powered DSLR. So yeah, this is a really good DSLR. I have tested it at ISO 100, 200, 160, 400, 800, 1600, and with just 20% denoise in Lightroom, the 1600 looks amazing. The AI denoise works amazing. I think the standard is 50%. It puts itself at 50%. I put it down to 20% because it made everything a bit smooth at 50%. So I put it down to 20, and yeah, it's beautiful. It looks like grain rather than noise. So there's the camera. It very much looks like it should have a button here to take pictures, which would be good. Like the S3 Pro has an extra button here that's more based on the that's based. I think is that based on the F100 because the body of this is based on the F80. The good thing about these is basically if you have a I think if you have a working F80 and a broken one of these, you can replace some of the mechanics with the working F80. I think the electronics just slap on the back of the F80 basically. Um, Yeah. So the batteries last, I hear about 400 shots on alkaline batteries, but that's reports from 2002, and batteries have gotten way better in the last 23 years. So I wouldn't be surprised if you could get 400, 500 easily with more to go. The CR123As apparently last maybe a year because they literally just power. Well, there's conflicting reports that the CR123As just run the flash and the motor, like you can use AFS lenses with double A's, but not the screw drive lenses without CR123As. Conflicting reports, Flickr, for Trio, Rangefinder forums, DP reviews, everything. It's all different. It's all it's all old men who are like, I remember the S2 Pro, and so it takes F mount lenses. That's the major feature. That's why I got it because if it took Fujifilm mount lenses and they had like a whole like four thirds is a lovely system, great glass, but they're hard to find and they're not expensive, but they're hard to find. I think Wex has three up right now and they're all in pretty bad condition. Like an eight, which for Wex is usually it's quite grimy. The optics are usually clear, but the lenses themselves are usually worn and sticky on an eight or a seven. So but it uses F mount lenses. So at the minute, I've got a 35 1.8G, which works perfectly because it's crop sensor. I could put anything from a 70 to 300 to a hold on. This one is always sticky. This 10 is always sticky. This 10 to 24. Boom, polarizer on there. Beautiful. Yeah, so it fits basically everything that Nikon has made, except for AI and AIS, because it doesn't have the feeler tab for the AI system, the automatic indexing system. You can use them and they will work, but you'll have to externally meter and use entirely manual mode, which is kind of a pain in the ass. But if you're used to like film photography, then you're metering externally a lot anyway. Or you should be, because to get good meter readings, you need to take 2 or 3 per scene. That Ansel Adams would have told you, man. He just said you got to meter every part of that scene. You got to get every EV zone you can. Talking of the sensor, 1.5 crop sensor, it uses a super CCD where it's aligned diagonally rather than square. So instead of little rectangles or little square pixels, it has hexagonal sensors that then translate into pixels. And it's an effective resolution of 12 megapixels, which for 2002 is mad. This thing cost $2,000 when it came out, and that makes sense because it is, in its name, it is pro. Cause the only thing you can't do with it is low light handheld without flash. So at 1600 ISO in a dimly lit living room, my parents' dimly lit living room, I am at 60th at 1.8. Any lower than that, and it's kind of but it does support image stabilization. So whatever stop your lens has in image stabilization, it will activate that and it'll be fine. Because it's an F80. I think F80, F100, and the F6 all support image stabilization. The F80 was one of the last SLRs made. One of the great. The thing I don't like about the F80 is how light it is. And this thing sort of solves the problem. By being so big and chunky, you've got the comfort of the F80, which is unrivaled. The F80 is unrivaled comfort in a camera. But it's very light, so it feels plasticky, and you don't want to carry it because it's bashing against things. And it's like, because I'm reportage and documentary work. I'm in places where there's like people throwing things around and kids, and I'm getting knocked about. And I was in the riots. I was in the last August, 2024 August. I was in the riots in Bolton, and I took a film camera because I didn't want any nice digital camera to get broken. Because the only digital camera I had at the time was a really nice Canon. Well, I still have it. I use it for film scanning. But then I bought a D70, and I was like, oh, old DSLR. But yeah, I wouldn't have taken the F80 into the riot because it's horribly plastic, and one little bash, people were throwing rocks and dog turds and blah 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 blah. Yeah, so. But this thing sort of solves the problem of feeling plasticky and light. It is still plastic, but it doesn't feel plastic, so you are a bit more confident. I'm sure the F80 could take all the abuse you give it, but you don't want to because it's so light and plasticky. This thing feels heavy. It's this extra bit here, this where the double A's are. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. That extra bit there for your ring finger. If you wear large gloves, extra large gloves like me, if your glove size is big, this is a perfect camera. You can really choke up on it, or you can spread your fingers about. Absolutely unrivaled in comfort. I'll throw up a couple sample images here. Blah 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 blah. Remember to edit them in. The colors are really nice. Straight out of camera, the colors are nice, and then you slap a little bit of an edit on them, and you can it's like the E420, the E520, the D200, all these CCD sensor. Well, CC film like sensors because the Olympuses use live MOS sensors, but they're very similar colors to the CCD sensors. All these film like sensors, I'm obsessed with them. I hate the term film like because it's dumb, but I like the look of film, so I'm kind of contentious within myself to be like, why is everyone chasing the film look? And then I'm like, oh, the film looks quite nice. So muted colors, a bit muted colors. Like overexposed film looks really nice, but muted colors, bit less, a bit more shadow detail. It has a very good dynamic range. Talking of film, this thing has got like portrait dynamic range, because the dynamic range in film for a very long time, pros used film for a very long time because the dynamic range was better than the Kodak DC S520 and the Kodak Pro whatever. And then somewhere around 2008 to 2010, we went and got like 12,800 ISO, 25,600 ISO, 128,000 ISO final, and then we know now cameras have million ISO, and it works perfectly in low light, and they have a great dynamic range, and they can go down to ISO 50 and blah blah blah. But yeah, you lose a bit of dynamic range at 1600 with this, but as you can see from some of the pictures, I've captured some scenes where there's quite a lot of shadow detail that could be lost because of the scene, but the camera has captured perfectly. With the bank and the cone, that picture, I thought even with my D200, I guarantee the cone would have been quite underexposed, and the bank would have been quite well exposed if I'd metered for the bank and then other way around. But this thing, the dynamic range on this thing is amazing. Yeah, I've not got a camera with dynamic range like that, and I've got a nice Canon. It's quite surprising actually what you can drag out of it. All up to Lightroom denoise, of course, but yeah, these pictures of the pictures of the bank, pictures of the dogs, all at 1600 ISO, pictures of the black and white collie, all at 1600 ISO. One of them might be 800, but still. I did originally think that the 1600 ISO was a bit crap, but that's because I was shooting almost in like ridiculous darkness, and I started sort of working with the camera, like shooting at 1600 ISO, but trying to get more light, and then dragging the shadows down to hide the noise, denoising, bringing the light up. It looks really nice. It looks amazing. Problems. Sometimes it doesn't record an image. It just straight up, if you don't wake the camera up from its sleep, it won't record an image. If you press the button quickly, it will wake up the mechanical side, but not the digital side. This is a me problem, I think. I've not read anything about this anywhere else. It will wake up the digital side, the film side, but not the digital side, and take a picture, and nothing will be recorded. So you have to sort of press the button a couple times, wait maybe half a second to a second, and then take the picture. So I've got it set on 5 minutes auto off. So if I'm just walking around town taking pictures, whatever, 15 seconds auto off. If I'm in a crowd, if I'm doing reportage, documentary work, I need to be able to go clack, 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 clack. Another bad thing, it's got a buffer size of 8, and if you fill the buffer, it will take a full 2 minutes to write to card. It's compatible with CF cards and smart media cards up to 128 megabytes. The CF cards it can take 2 gigabytes. You will get roughly 150 raw images on a 2 gigabyte card, or 76 raw images on a 1 gigabyte card. It does TIFF as well, which you get about 30 images on a 1 gig card, but they're massive files with lots and lots of data. So that's more studio work, I think. If you've got it, because you can firewire this up straight to. I think you can firewire it up and just export the images straight away. So it would be a really good studio camera because it is gorgeous to hold. I can definitely hold this for hours and take lots and lots of pictures. It's got a PC sync port, so you could hook it up to a flash, hook up to wired flashes. It takes the F80 era flashes like the SB80 and the SB. I think it works with the SB26. So things like from F4 to F6 flashes, I think it works with, because it doesn't work with my flashes that work with my D200, but it works with the PC sync cord with an SBE, and it does take quite nice pictures with the SBE. I like the SBE flash. It's very nice and tall. You can hold it like this and bounce off the wall on the little cord. It's quite nice. Yeah, problems. The ISO you have to set manually. You have to turn this dial to ISO and then switch it around. There's no auto ISO. It's just old. That's the only problem. Is it's old and limited in its functionality and quickness. It can't do all the fancy interval meter tricks like the D200 you could set and just have it shoot 5 frames every 3 minutes. You can't do that on this camera. It's got a very simple menu. It's got like 6 options on the menu, and then on the back here on this grey LCD here, you've got white balance, autofocus area, quality, file type, color, tone, sharpness, and then a lock to lock all the features down. It's quite nice in the back that it tells you the date and time, how many pictures you've got left, battery level, what kind of card you're using, and the ISO. So it tells you the date and time right there, which is quite nice. It can record voice notes. Every time you take a picture, it will record for like 5 seconds and store that to the CF card. So you can, I guess, this is what I've discovered is it's very much a pro. Sorry about that. Very much a pro studio camera, I think. This was not something that a student would pick up and start taking pictures with. This was very much a plug in a flash, put it on a tripod, or carry it around the studio and take properly exposed, well thought out pictures. Definitely not a snapshot machine like an EOS 100D or the E420. It's more like a D200 or even an F5 or something where you're like, this is a camera that needs to do stuff well. It's not just like click 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 click. It's like right, okay, right, do that. Okay, left arm up, right, yeah, and click. Wait for it to read. Repose your model, that sort of thing. But like it's like a film camera that it slows you down. And again, I hate that. Like it slows me down. Like you can blast through a roll of film a minute in a camera if you want to. There is nothing stopping you except for money. But the limited file size, it's like this is basically carrying 2 rolls of film and that's it. Unless you carry another card with you, which I don't, because nowhere sells 1 gigabyte, 2 gigabyte SD cards anymore, except for Amazon, and they're all cheap Chinese. Like, are they going to fail immediately as soon as I put it in the camera? I tried an 8 gigabyte AGFA card, and it just took too long to write. My D70 does not work with it. My D200 writes about 3 images a minute onto it, something like that. It literally takes about 20 seconds to write an image. So you got to be careful with your CF cards. If you get one of these, make sure you go on eBay and get a proper CF card, like a SanDisk or something, because you never know with these cheaper cards that are mass produced. I mean, these were mass produced, but there's a proper company. SanDisk is a proper company. It's not some random factory. I don't know. People are now on Instagram are like, SanDisk is a cheap company now, and I'm not sure who does good CF cards for modern cameras anymore, because I'm not into my modern cameras. But it doesn't take anything above 2 gigabytes on the CF card. Other than that, it's got all the basic features of an F80. It's got an auto exposure lock, AF lock, which can be used as a back button autofocus. It's got 3 metering modes. It's got spot, accentuated, and matrix. And the matrix metering is amazing. As usual, Nikon kicking out the park, smacking out the ball pit, destroying it with the metering, best metering in the business. There's nothing like it. Their matrix metering from the F5, from like the F5 onwards, is unmatched in my opinion. Absolutely brilliant. It's got bracketing modes, it's got flash modes, it's got pop-up flash, which you don't see in professional cameras, but it's an F80 body. It's gonna. I don't think the flash even works on this one, but I don't use on camera flash. I use a bounce flash and a board and I think that's it, man. That's it. It's just really cool to have a AA battery powered camera with pro features, and one that just feels so good. I'm enamored with it, because I thought oh, AA battery, I can, it'll be like it'll be a survival camera. It's like middle of nowhere. You're in the middle of Scotland and you come across a newsagent that sells AA's. You can recharge your, instead of going into a pub and be like, can I plug my charger in, or using a solar panel, or if you absolutely need to, um, you know, you can use disposable. I've got some. I think I've got. Oh no, I've got disposables in here. I do have rechargeable batteries. I should put them in there. But yeah, just brilliant little camera. I love it, man. It's so it's so dumb that that Fuji stopped doing DSLRs so quickly. Um, like I would have loved to see like an F7 Pro based on the D500 with like an insane super sensor on it. The sensor they could have made they could have been amazing. That would have been brilliant because they had the S5 Pro based on the D200, and that had I think another. I think it was like a 12 megapixel sensor, but again, super CCD, brilliant dynamic range. So you combine the metering of Nikon and Fuji sensors, and you've got an absolute win. I think that's going to be the title of the video, man. You combining Fuji sensor and Nikon technology, and you've got just one of the best cameras ever. You get 2,000 euro, $2,000, £2,000, whatever, when it came out, and got it for 30 quid, and it's brilliant. Works better than it needs to for what I need. So if you're struggling to start photography, you're using a smartphone or a digital compact, and you want something that can take interchangeable lenses and all sorts of little features, this thing you can get these for 80 to 150 quid on eBay, brand new in the box. I got very lucky with the 30 quid. Um, I just lowballed the guy in Vinted, and I think he wanted rid of it. Um, the thing is, I think the guy before had problems with the white balance because the screen displays images is really orange, and all of his images from his card that he left in the camera were all really blue. So I think he was white balancing blue to make it look normal on the screen, and then he'd get the pictures on his computer, and he'd be like, "Why are they all blue?" And then he's just put it back in the box because it was brand spanking new in the box. It had all the things in the box and was just not dusty, wasn't marked at all, not sticky, just completely just completely not used. I think he used it like once at a car show, and it's like it's just brilliant. Right,